Welcome to the most highly questionable of all highly questionables. This is Stu Gatz, co-host on the radio, 10 to 1 Eastern, ESPN Radio. What do you like on the show today, Stu Gatz?
That feels like a compliment. Thank you, Dan. I'm looking forward to breaking down whether or not tonight's game, the Cavaliers game, 7 games into the season, is a must-win game.
Dale, papi.
Is Deshaun Watson a bigger loss for the Texans or the NFL as a whole?
This is interesting. I can't believe I'm about to say what I'm going to say, but there are only 3 quarterbacks in the entire league, maybe 3 guys in the entire league of any position, where when they go down, it is league-wide mourning. It's not just regional. It's not just one team gets hurt. Deshaun Watson was so exciting in that game against Seattle, announcing his arrival against that defense where Richard Sherman is saying, we've never seen anything like that. To have that go down is like having Aaron Rodgers go down. It's like having Tom Brady go down. It's a league-wide mourning. It's not just a team.
How would you know how good he is? You were in the woods doing God knows
That's right.
what the entire
I didn't watch
weekend.
The game. That's true.
You didn't watch the game at all. I did. I did watch the game, and Dan is right. He is the most exciting player right now in the NFL, and we lost that. But I don't feel bad for him, maybe just a little bit. I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for the league. I feel bad for me. I feel worse for Dan. Bad for me because he's on my fantasy team, and I was 7-1.
Right.
And I feel worse for Dan because Dan has this crusade against the NFL. I'm going to announce this right now. Dan doesn't like the NFL. And the one thing he had to look forward to every single week was Deshaun Watson when he's not playing around in the woods, and now that's been taken away from him.
It was very exciting watching him on Sunday, I'm told.
How worried should the Lakers be about Lonzo Ball's lack of scoring?
I don't think that much of anything that's going to happen this year should matter. And the only reason we're putting this kind of magnifying glass on it is because it's the Lakers and because his dad is a loudmouth. He didn't score at all last night. He's going to do a lot of different things on a basketball court. If there's something that he's deficient at, it would be scoring. He's going to rebound and assist better than he scores. He's going to get better at this as he ages, as he matures. It might be nice if we didn't spend every day hyper-examining it.
5 years from now, yes, they should be worried about Lonzo Ball's offensive game. But right now, 6 or 7 games into his career, absolutely not. It's crazy. It's ridiculous how we're judging him minute to minute in every single game. He does the little things. This was the concern about Lonzo Ball coming out of college, that he didn't have the offensive skills, that he couldn't shoot the jumper. But he does pass well. He rebounds very well for a small guy, for a point guard, and he plays good defense. So the offensive game will come around eventually, but right now, no, we should not be concerned.
But all of that said, when you say he does the little things, you don't draft someone that high to do the little things. You draft someone that high so that someone else is doing the little things. If this guy doesn't end up being a scorer, this rebounding and assist stuff's not going to be enough long term.
You also drafted a 19-year-old. Like,
right.
Give it a minute.
Yes,
give it a minute.
Give it a minute.
Yep.
But just 1 minute.
Yes.
You don't have to give it 3 or 4. Just give it 1.
Yep, he's got 5 games to fix this.
Well, you better get it together tonight because D'Angelo Russell is in town.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Oh, revenge game. D'Angelo Russell. Lakers have been talking. He's going to want to score 30 against us. Man, oh, man. I miss the Lakers mattering.
Is Rich Incognito right that Thursday night games are completely unfair, or is he just making excuses?
What kind of guttural noises are you making over there? What's the matter with you?
That's me being tired of Richie Incognito. Like, I never hear a guy from the winning team on Thursday night come out and say Thursday night games are bad for the NFL.
Okay.
I never hear that. Right. And if Richie Incognito and all these players really, truly care about the things that are bothering them, then when the next CBA comes around, they will sit out, and they will sit out for an entire season until they get the things that they want, including no Thursday night football in which they take home 40% of that revenue.
All right, Richie Incognito said that it's unfair to make them play like that, and the question becomes, is it unfair if it's the same kind of unfair for both teams? Because I would say, yes, that's also unfair, but maybe it's fair. Maybe it's fair if you're taking all of the money and you both decide we're going into this game and it's going to be unfair. If you're making a transaction, your body for money, it's Thursday night football or prostitution. That's the way that one goes.
Maybe he can bully Fidel Godel to get rid of Thursday night games.
That's right. That's right. Yes, hang him from a locker by his underwear. Let's go, Incognito. You can do it.
Come on. Is tonight the must win for the stinky Cavaliers?
Now look, Stugatz love must wins. He laughs, but he loves calling things must wins. But even he laughs at the absurdity of this question. As whatever it is, the 3 and 5 Cavs go up against the 4 and 3 Wizards.
If they lose tonight, do they not get to play the next night?
Yes, no, that's right. They get to play. In fact, maybe LeBron will rest next night, but they do get to play more games, and we can get to call more of them must win. This said, though, The LeBron James Cavaliers that we have seen 8 games into the season, this is the worst 8-game stretch we've ever seen from someone like him. He's shooting nearly 60%. He's never gone through this stretch where you're losing to bad teams at home by double digits. So it'll get your attention even more if all they do is keep losing.
Yeah, let's be patient, though, with this team. I can't believe me being patient. The entire show I'm being patient. But no Kyrie Irving. They're playing without him. And the guy they traded for, Isaiah Thomas, is not back till January. I want to see what this thing looks like once Isaiah Thomas comes back and plays with LeBron James.
Well, what you do want to see is the Cleveland Cavaliers at least 500 when Isaiah Thomas comes back. What's going to happen here, it looks like, is they're going to sink a little bit because they're playing very poor basketball. And when LeBron James is playing well and they're not playing well, you got a problem to getting it to Isaiah Thomas.
I got a hotter take, man, because this is not a must-win game for the Cavaliers. The team that it's a must-win game for is the Washington Wizards.
Wow.
I'm tired of John Wall and Bradley Beal and everyone telling me how good Gortat is. I'm tired of this team. No one actually has ever told me how good Gortat is. But Beal and Wall, they tell me all the time, these guys are good. They're the next team in the East. You know what? If you want to be the next team in the East, go beat LeBron James. It's a must-win game for the Wizards tonight.
Kind of a stinky here. Doesn't smell too good.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You know what that stink is?
What's that stink, Papi?
Cavaliers. Smells like a retirement home. You got Wade, you got Rose, you got, those guys in there,
Right. They should. Wade should be playing with like a hospice nurse running behind him with a dialysis machine. Too much? Too strong?
Coming up next on my son's TV show, Rob Hubel.
I'm in an airport. Where do I know you from?
Guys! Please get in.
The Volkswagen Atlas with easy access third row. Life's as big as you make it.
Joining us at the beach today, Rob Hubel.
Oh, my father delivered that not stiffly at all. He doesn't like Stugotz. Rob Hubel hates Stugotz. He wants him out of here. Get out of here, Stugotz. New show, Do You Want to See a Dead Body, premieres on YouTube Red beginning November 15th. Let's talk to him.
Hey, Hubel, the feeling's mutual.
Whoa. Can you give us a story that tells us you bombing on stage? The memorable one that still makes you sort of, get the sweats.
Yeah, I mean, a big part of comedy is failing at comedy. You can't get better unless you fail, and you fail miserably. But there are many times you would go and I would be doing like an improv show or doing stand-up or something like that, and you just see people just really bored, just like looking at their phones. And the thing is, here's the thing also, when you go to a comedy show and you're in the audience, here's my advice for people. Don't be on your phone because it's dark out there in the audience and your phone is lighting up your face. So as the comedian, I can see who the jerks are. I can look out and see who all the jerks are on their phone because they're pointing a flashlight on their face. So don't do that. But yeah, tons and tons of times I failed. I mean, it's like anything. It's like sports. You have to keep at it, and then eventually you start getting laughs. And then you get hooked on that feeling. You get hooked on what that audience is giving you. And then you just want that as much as you can get it. You just want to get more people laughing.
Were you ever close to quitting? Was it ever at any point something that your family was like, come on, enough?
My family used to very politely try to like steer me towards other things. Like my mom lives in South Carolina, and I was in New York at the time, as I said, and my mom would say things like, there's no shame in coming back to South Carolina and working for the bank down the street. I'd be like, well, I know there's no shame in that. And my dad would be like, a lot of people your age go to law school. You look like you could be a lawyer, but at a certain point, I just decided no matter what, this is going to be how I made my living. And then I kind of stumbled into doing commercials. I really kind of got my start in New York being in funny commercials, and that kind of allowed me to finally like tread water, like pay my rent. So I wasn't as broke as I used to be.
Well, how much debt were you in?
Man, I lived off my credit card. Credit card companies loved me. Here's the other thing about credit card companies. You dirty. Oh no, they might be advertisers of yours.
No, they're
all of these opinions are my own opinions. These companies, when you run up a huge bill and you're in a lot of credit card debt, what do? They send you more offers for more credit cards. So I had, I would charge my rent on one credit card. I would charge like food on another credit card. I would transfer balances to another credit card. Don't do that. You will never get out of it. I got lucky. I think eventually I got like an Olive Garden commercial or something like that. And I was able to like pay off all my bills and,
Well, if I go from back then to now, what's a situation that the guy back then has actually found himself in now where you look back and you're like, I can't believe I got from there to here?
Yeah, well, every now and then there are moments where it does seem a little surreal, but I'm not a very famous person. I have one of those faces that people go, oh, I think I know you from something. Like a lot of people in airports will stop me and go, what do I know you from? And then I kind of have to list things I've done. I did a show on FX called The League, which was about fantasy football. So there's a lot of like sports dudes that know me from that.
Well, here, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way if we can. Let's reenact this, if I may. Where,
okay.
I'm in an airport. Where do I know you from? You look familiar. Where do I know you from?
Yeah, if you don't mind, buddy, I'm just going to sit here at the airport bar and drink my beer. But thank you very much.
No. But I insist because I'm that person who needs to know who you are. Who are you?
Oh boy, buddy. If you don't mind.
Who are you?
Okay.
Dude, who are you? I know you from somewhere.
Okay, man. Look, I don't know what your television habits are. I used to do a show called The League. I did some stuff on... No,
that's not it.
No, I did The Office. Did you ever watch The Office? I did some stuff on that. No. I did a show called Children's Hospital. Did you watch that? No. I don't know.
It's the Olive Garden commercial. Are you in that Olive Garden commercial?
Yeah,
You're in that Olive Garden commercial.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it is. It's horrible, right? It's horribly awkward. You need to explain your resume. You need to explain your IMDb to a stranger at the airport.
Thank you for plugging IMDb. But yes, the internet movie database is your friend. But what's funny is that I get very self-conscious about doing that because I don't know what people watch. And then this has happened before where I've run down things and then the person has said, no, we went to high school together. And then it was someone that I went to high school. And then I just look like a Hollywood.
Yeah, that's exactly what you end up looking like there. Through no fault of your own. You were just having a drink at the bar.
I'm just a guy at the bar, and now I'm a Hollywood.
Rob, my father wants a crack at you. You ready for the tough question, sir?
Bring it on. I'm ready.
Let's go, Poppy. What do you got for him?
Hey, Rob, what is the most romantic thing you have ever done for your wife, Holly?
Oh, boy, that is a tough question. The most romantic thing I've ever done, we were married about 2 years ago, and we were married by Henry Winkler. You may know him as the Fonz.
Yes,
and
yes, of course.
he was on a TV show with me called Children's Hospital, and is a dear friend of ours. And so Henry actually married us. He became a certified rabbi or priest. I'm not sure. I didn't ask any questions. I'm assuming this was all legal. But it was a beautiful ceremony that Henry Winkler performed, and I thought that was very romantic.
Really?
Wow. I mean, his wedding day is the most romantic day because he had the clout to bring the Fonz.
Fios.
Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that can't believe this bump is back. Do you question?
You're supposed to read, bum. You give us topics and events, we question them.
I mean, you want me to read and do work after I'm being called a bum and treated this way on this show?
Right.
Get out of here, man.
Do you question if Shaq made a face?
Okay, here's where we go. We go to the post-game show of the Lakers, Trailblazers, TNT, the best studio show going. They've got a chip challenge, the spiciest of all the peppers or something. Did Shaq endure this without making a face? Let's check in.
Chuck, I bet you $20 I'll buy the chip, won't even make a face.
Bet. Without making a face.
It's going to be terrible, right? It's not going to be.
Don't worry yet, brother.
It's nothing to me. I sound a little. I'm not making a face, though.
Yes, you are.
I'm just coughing. I'm not making a face. I'm just coughing.
I'm not making a face.
I'm not making Ernie, I'm coughing.
I know, when you go,
Ernie, I'm coughing. This should be making me like, I'm not making a face. Oh, it's hot. Anybody got some milk? You win, Chuck. God. Water made it worse.
jump out your clothes, man. That's a lot.
It's going to be even worse coming out, Chuck.
I know he's not. You cannot exaggerate.
Oh, no.
Do you question if this will get Michael Irvin off the hook with the Steve Smith?
I love this story. Michael Irvin was making fun of Steve Smith's pants, and Steve Smith wasn't having any of it. We played this for you last week. Steve Smith wasn't finding the humor in any of this. Look at this.
Steve, I gotta apologize. My wife loves you, and she got mad at me for messing with you. She's going to make me sleep on the couch if I mess with you anymore. So I'm not going to say anything about those pants you have on. I'm not going to say anything about those pants you have on.
You know what, Mike? I'm gonna let you know right now. When I come to LA, I'm gonna whoop.
Yeah, no humor whatsoever, staring straight ahead. So what happened? Did Michael Irvin have to apologize? Let's see. Did he apologize correctly?
Hey, listen, man. I want you to understand. I was just joking with Steve Smith. I love him. I am wearing the suit, a whole suit. See this? That looks just like his pants look. I was just having fun with him. I don't want him to beat me up. Steve, you know I love you, man. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I was just having locker room boys fun. And so I wore this suit to really show you that I'm sorry. And I love you, brother. Steve Smith, Agent 89. 88 and 89. We together forever. Love you, brother.
What a bad man Steve Smith must be when you go to those lengths to apologize to Steve Smith. And Michael Irvin doesn't apologize to anybody.
And Michael also, he's still going to beat you up in the street the next time he sees you. Okay. Why was the chicken scratching its armpits?
Chickens don't do that.
With claws, the wings became claws. I don't understand what just happened there. It would be a terrifying thing to fight. You know, I don't think you'd enjoy fighting it. It's like a pterodactyl. It wasn't a chicken, whatever it was, sort of pterodactyl species.
Time to play the game that they're just going to read this weekend and not watch anything on TV. See? Or no?
That's what I did last week, and I faked this week of shows. I was disconnected from all information. I was faking it all week.
You were spending it in the woods.
I know. You tell us what to watch on television tonight. We'll tell you if we're intrigued or not.
Saturday on CBS, LSU at Alabama.
A game that does not involve the number one team in America, because the number one team in America is Georgia. Nick Saban was asked, hey, how do you feel about being number two? What did he have to say?
I could care less about the poll. I mean, what significance does a poll have right now? If our players think anything of it, then that could be a problem and an issue, too.
You could care less. It means
really?
You could care less. Stugotz, are you intrigued?
Thank you for that English lesson right there. Yes, I am intrigued. I'm intrigued because I think this is exactly what Nick Saban wanted. He doesn't want to be number one. He'll use that as motivation. Hey, they don't think you're good enough to be number one, so they're going to blow out LSU this weekend.
Wow, all right, there you go. Poppy, what about you? Are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Are you kidding me? I have always said that Nick Saban is number two. You know, he looks like number two. He smells like number two. You know,
Really?
That's right.
Really?
He talks like number two. You know what I mean? Number two, one, two.
I got it already.
You
Really?
got it.
We got to when you said
always number two. I always say
number two.
Number two.
Yes, when you said he smells like number two, anyone who didn't get it got it.
Saturday on ABC, number 4 Clemson at number 20 NC State.
NC State is really good. I know they didn't look it against Notre Dame, but Notre Dame is really good. Let's check in on Dabo Swinney, the Clemson coach, getting pranked on Halloween.
It's a huge day. Last day of October. All right, happy Halloween.
Oh, is there going to be a ghoul?
So don't get... Ooh. Hey. I don't know.
Yeah. Always funny. Yeah, always funny until that thing. Yeah.
I hate that made him likable though.
Yeah,
Like, I don't like that.
okay.
Now I like him.
There you go. Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. That was one of my favorite coaches. You know, I'm telling you something. He said he became my favorite coach when he beat Tricky Nicky last year. You know, after that he can do no wrong.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, he's a true champ.
Right.
Do you know where Alabama was ranked when they lost last year in the championship game?
Yeah, they were. Oh, here's that joke again.
That's right. They were ranked number 2.
Number 2 because Nick Saban is number 2. Because he smells like number 2. Because he talks like number 2. Right, we established that already. All right, very good.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
We'll talk to you on Monday. Well, we will. We're kicking him out of here.